Hello, and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea Necchiarico, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I have downloaded from the 25th dimension during my last QHHT hypnosis session. And I would like to ask you to please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And please do leave me a comment to let me know if the stuff resonates with you or just to say hi. I love to interact, to read every comment. And it's good to hear that, some of the stuff resonates, or if it doesn't resonate, I would like to hear that too, because of course, we're all here trying to learn, right? What's going on. So without further ado, I'll move forward here. I'm going to read from the transcript of this portion of the session. And when I say Carolyn, I'm referring to the hypnotist who asked me the questions I had prepared in advance. And when I say me, I'm referring to myself under hypnosis, which means the information, the answers are coming from the 25th dimension. All right, here we go. Carolyn, is it okay to eliminate NPCs? Those are non-player characters, since they're just organic matter. And I would recommend that you go back and watch my last video because we started talking about NPCs there. We have done so in other videos before, but if you watch the last video, that will give you somewhat of an introduction to this. And that's why she's asking this question. She's saying, it was explained to us, it was explained to us that NPCs basically are humans without essence. So the question here is it okay to destroy them if they have no essence in them? Me. No, it's not okay. It's not okay at all. We are grateful for these bodies. And just because there is no essence, the body doesn't lose its value. Carolyn, its importance? Me, of course. It's just like Mother Earth. We are grateful for being hosted on the planet. We are already grateful for New Earth, even though there are no essences there. Carolyn. And you've already stated that NPCs can have children. So can these children have souls? Me, absolutely. All kinds of NPCs have children with souls. Carolyn, amazing. Have NPCs been taking themselves out with things like the V in the shoulder, for example? Me, they just go along. If they run into it and somebody says, hey, this is a really great idea, they'll do it. They don't really have the ability to question or go against the grain. They just follow along. Carolyn, so then, do they live until the body gives out? Me, they do. They don't decide to take themselves out, no. Unless they get run over by a truck, but that's not really their choice. It's not like in essence saying, okay, I want to experience being run over by a truck. So all of a sudden the truck, manifests. This is just, it really is more accidental when an NPC goes. So maybe old age, might be anything. I mean, it's whatever reason you have to have your body go out. That's all the reasons they have their body go out. They just don't decide the time. Carolyn, so are NPCs affecting our experience of 3D negatively, since tyrants are kept in power by NPCs following orders like robots? Me, actually, no. They are a small minority, so no. This is really our choice. We kept us going. It wasn't the NPCs. There's only 300 million of them, NPCs, at this time. So keep in mind, and again, we discussed this in previous videos, there are only 2 billion people on planet Earth. We've been told that we are 8 to 9 billion. I don't even know. This is not true. It's all a lie. There's only 2 billion bodies on this planet, and 300 million of them apparently are NPCs. Everybody else has an essence. Carolyn, they're kind of just like a standby player. Me, they're kind of doing their thing. They really don't change things one way or the other. They're just following the majority. When the majority decides it's going to be, if the majority has decided this would be a planet of light, they would have been people of the light. So I'm sorry, if the majority had decided that this would be a planet of light, they would have been people of the light. They just go along with whatever the majority says. Carolyn, interesting. How does it work with walk-ins? Can a soul come into a body even after birth because there are shells walking around empty? Me, no. Now, a soul comes into a body at birth. Technically, a soul who does not want to incarnate and wants to use an NPC for a short period of time to check things out. We've done this before. I have done this before. then you're just using an NPC, walking around and then leaving. But at the same time, all you're doing is you're mashing your consciousness with the brain of the NPC, and you're able to use their senses to see reality. That's what it means that you walk around. That's what's happening with these aliens. They go into these NPCs, and now they can communicate and do all these things. But if you're going to be incarnating here, you have to incarnate at birth. So you're actually connecting for a lifetime, committing to a lifetime with this body. Now, you can leave this body before the body is done. So you can leave the body behind and just leave and not come back. We also come and go all the time. But generally, as an essence, if you decide you're going to have an incarnation here, you just come and stay from birth. Carolyn, why do some bodies not get souls at birth? Not enough interest from souls to come to our planet or into a certain body? Me. Yeah, only souls who want to be here will be here. And we do have spare bodies in case somebody wants to use them. Carolyn, are planets created with NPCs and then souls transfer into them? Me. Yes, New Earth is not created with NPCs. So there will be no NPCs on New Earth because, again, we're going there with our consciousness and projecting our bodies. But in 3D, yes, you have to prepare bodies to walk into. And also on other planets where they have bodies, they would prepare the bodies and then the essence will fly into the body. Carolyn, so you did kind of cover this, but I'll ask it again so maybe I understand it a little more in depth. Why do souls at times leave bodies behind and other times the body dies when the soul decides to leave? What's the purpose of leaving the body behind versus dying? Our concept of dying, obviously there is no dying. Me, it's an agreement. So we said there are no contracts because there really aren't. A soul can do whatever it wants. However, because we want to experience, we were even hinting to this earlier when we said we're kind of on the side of the light or the dark. We make friends, we make alliances. So we decided we're going to change something in the next incarnation and do it a little different. We're still exploring basically that side of things. We do the same thing as individuals. We have hung out with a certain group of people, a certain group of souls. So we decide to come back and to stay and say, hey, I'm going to be your dad and I'm going to die when I'm 70 years old. Great. All of a sudden, though, as an essence, I decide after 50 years here that this is really boring. I need out and I'm going off to do something else. And maybe I'm never back, or maybe I'm back once every 5 years. Who knows? And it depends on the soul. The soul can do whatever it wants. But they had agreed that he will leave the father here, this body here, until the body is 70 years old. So that's what happens. This doesn't happen very often, though. Most of the time when souls go, when essences go, the body goes too. Carolyn, are NPCs and clones the same? Me, there are no clones. The dark thinks that they're creating new clones, but there is no such thing. So the next few questions I was inspired to ask based on this book that you may have heard of. It's called Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. I didn't realize it was such a popular book, and it was actually brought to my attention by 3 different people. Normally already when 2 different people tell me about something, I will pay attention. I will actually read it or hint or follow the hint. And this was brought to me by 3 different people. So I did read it, and the cosmology is very different from what we've been told in the 25th or by the 25th. And so I have some questions about it. So Carolyn, does God continue making new souls, or is whoever is in the 25th now it forever? Me, yeah. And what they mean is they're answering, yes, this is it. So God has created essence in the 25th and this is it forever. So no new souls are made. God is not continuously making new souls. Carolyn, amazing. Are there really new souls, as in younger souls who are not as savvy, incarnating here or on other planets? Me. So what we consider new souls are people that are coming back from the 25th, and they come as, we're all the same. We're all part of the collective in the 25th. What we mean is that Say that we go back to the 25th and we stay there for any length of time. Of course, everything lasts forever in the 25th. You come back, you could behave like a new soul. If you come in and you choose that that is your experience, you want to start anew, because that's the whole point of it. You don't already know the entire game. You act like a new soul, what we consider a new soul. Then yeah, you can do that. But there is no new soul as in it just sprouted out of somewhere. Carolyn, thank you for that. That does explain a lot to me. So what is the number of new souls compared to old souls on this planet at this time? Me. People that are behaving like they're new souls? Well, very few actually, very, very few. A lot of us came here at this time. We've been around for a long time. We really wanted to try something new. So we've been around the block several times in the matrix. Or even if we're coming from the 25th, we remember, like we knew why, that this would be exciting. It's a very exciting time. Now, a lot of people did not necessarily know. I want to clarify. A lot of people did not necessarily know this was the lifetime when this was going to happen, because there are people out there that say everybody who's here at this time knew this is what we're here to do. That's not true. Only the 12,000 knew that this was it. This lifetime was it. But there's been all this interest. The story of the fact that we've been wanting to take this down has been around for a few hundred years now, or what we consider a few hundred years here. So people have been vying to come here. That's why we have such a huge population compared to other planets, because people are hoping, it's like playing the dice. Eventually I'm going to hit the number I'm looking for. So no, there aren't a lot of new souls that have come from the 25th. A lot of people have come from other planets. And I understand why a lot of people say, or a lot of these so-called spiritual gurus say that we've all chosen this to trying to give us strength in that sense, saying, hey, even though it's really hard right now, consider, keep in mind, you have chosen to be here for this time because you can do it. And while it's true that we choose to be here, so we have chosen to be here, we didn't know this was the time, meaning that only the 12,000, so the light workers knew this was the lifetime we were going to take this down, because the logistics has taken us a long time to figure out. And again, the 25th gives us information about the logistics and what's going to happen to different people. We've chosen different things. So please go back and check out some of the previous videos, because there's definitely a lot of information already that they have shared with us. Carolyn, excuse me, Carolyn, has God created anything else besides the essences in the 25th dimension? Me. What God has created is this music, which is the material that makes everything that we have used to create as well, that was given to us, this energy. So that's what God has created. In terms of the matrix, he hasn't created anything else. No, we created the matrix. God has basically just given us stuff to play with. I love when they speak about God. It is such a light way of speaking about him as this all-powerful energy. I actually am going to inquire more closely as to what we know in the 25th about the nature of God. And I'm going to ask, what else he does. And I hope that they have access to that information, because since God has created us, I don't know that we do have access to that information, that we're even capable of understanding that even at the 25th level. But I will inquire and I will report back. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.